Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell fam fun.
After today, it won't be cold, but cooler than it has been and rather active with daily rain chances through Memorial Day. 7-day accumulation would be at least 1.5 inches for the lightest shade of purple and up to, say, 3 inches in the bright reds near Morgantown. Adding some context, though, Charleston is behind monthly average by 2 inches, year-to-date by 5.5 inches. And just to keep up with average, we need over 1 inch. So if we get 1 3/4 of an inch, imagine these numbers improving by only 0.6 or so of an inch. Now, for thunderstorms, a marginal severe risk for the northern panhandle this afternoon and evening, a widespread marginal risk Wednesday afternoon and evening. So we will see a few storms out there, especially looking north in the overnight hours, then generally a lull before additional rain builds in from the west as we head through the day. Late afternoon and evening is when we start to see some stronger storms and some widespread rain that will fill out West Virginia and linger for a wet Thursday. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. That same cold front will have temperatures falling for D.C., for New York, but Chicago already cool behind the front with stormy pockets depending on where you're traveling. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast, New Cumberland 65 tonight, Moundsville 68, 71 to 76 here tomorrow with storms. Going east where we stay closer to 70 overnight, and because the cold front reaches here last, a lot of these communities do manage 90s one more time on Wednesday. We'll see Elkins at 65 tonight, Ripley 67, highs and low 80s here to mid 70s for our Wednesday. We'll see Charleston 67 tonight, Lewisburg 59, 85 there, 83 in Charleston on Wednesday. Then we'll see low 70s and upper 60s by Thursday. Gradually warmer through the holiday weekend with more storm action.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, 3, 1.
Red 57, Red 57, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw. Bill McKenzie hits a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe in the MetroNews studio, the Health Plan studio. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline and another busy show. We're going to give you a golf update here. Mountaineers in the regionals, round 2, played better, but not quite good enough. Also, Wren Baker met the media today, WVU's athletic director. Some cuts with him that we'll analyze. And one of our guests from last week, we had the head softball coach from Glenville State on, Sara, Scoone, and they went on to win the regional. So they're in a super regional starting on Thursday. So we'll try to be the good luck charm again for Coach Scoone and the Glenville State.
It's perfect. Very
team.
Good superstition-wise. We had good success last week. We'll just go ahead and roll that back in, see if we can help them to a World's Championship here.
Yeah, they're trying to get to the Division II Women's College World Series and winning a super regional, best of 3 super regional. And again, that will start on Thursday. They'll be on the road again, but they won the regional on the road. It is Kutztown they will play. So that is coming up this week, and we'll visit with the coach coming up. All right, golf. Mountaineers, round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Weather update, by the way. And for the second day in a row, it's hotter in Morgantown than it is in Arizona, if you can believe that. Not much, but still, that is amazing when you think about it. My car had 89. AccuWeather says it's 90 right now in Morgantown, and in Arizona it's 88. So that's 2 days in a row. It's been hotter in Morgantown than Arizona. Mountaineers got a little bit hotter today.
A lot hotter.
They played better. They were 6 under for the day after going 6 over yesterday.
Yeah, they were fantastic. And, Greg, as we thought last night going off the air, Caleb Wilson and Jack Michael going to have a bounce-back day. They both did. Both 3 under on the round. So West Virginia played tremendously well, moved up all the way into 8th spot. That's the good news.
Yeah, the bad news is the top 5, actually the top 6, but the top 5 make it. They qualify for the NCAA championships. The top 6 are comfortably in front of everyone else. Arizona, the host team, shot 24 under. 24 under today.
24 under. They moved to 35 under on the tournament and are 10 shots clear of the defending world champions, Oklahoma State Cowboys.
So Oklahoma State, as Brad mentioned, in second place, 25 under collectively after 2 rounds. Arkansas State, who's ranked in the top 50, they're a collective 21 under after 2 rounds. They were 14 under today. And you think the course played well?
Yeah, course was given some scores easier.
Back. LSU in 4th place, 8th in the country. They're 18 under par after 2 rounds, and Duke is 14 under par after 2 rounds. Alabama in 6th place, still within shouting distance, 12 under. So, again, the top 5 advance, and it's down to 6 teams. Clemson's in 7th, made a nice move today, 11 under, but they are 5 shots out of that top 5. And then West Virginia currently in 8th place, even for the tournament, after going 6 under. So the worst round of any team that's in the top 5 currently is 6 under. So think about that for a minute. That's the worst round of any of those top 5 teams. And Arizona goes 24 under today, Oklahoma State 14 under, Arkansas State 14 under, LSU 9 under. The worst round that any of those top 5 teams has had in 2 days is 6 under par.
Good job by 2 West Virginia guys. We talked about him yesterday. So Westy McCabe still sits in the top 20 individually, so he's having a heck of a tournament. He's tied for 17th. Nick Tarowski is tied for 27th. So 2 golfers in the top 30, and as I mentioned today, or mentioned a minute ago, Caleb Wilson, Jack Michael each went 3 under on the day. So, again, a really good round, a great bounce back by a lot of those guys. It's just those top 6 are just blistering the course today.
So while it's maybe difficult for West Virginia as a team to make it to the Nationals, there are spots for individuals. So if a couple of those individuals can continue to play well, you can also advance individually, not just team-wise. So those are opportunities for a few of them.
Also today, all Big 12 baseball honors. And Max Yale of West Virginia, the Big 12 Conference Pitcher of the Year. So congratulations to him.
Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. He is in the top 5 in the country, I believe, in ERA. Leads the league, actually number 7 in the country in ERA. Number 1 in the Big 12 at 2.10, 7-2. That's the second most wins in the league behind his teammate Chanson Cole, who was also selected first team, and Ian Korn also selected first team. So Yale, Pitcher of the Year, Cole, Yale, Korn, and, of course, Gavin Kelly, all selected first team all Big 12 Conference.
3 pitchers on the first team all conference. That is hard to do, guys. I mean, you could have a loaded staff and not get there. 3 first team all conference pitchers. What a season by that staff.
And it's not like they have 10.
Yeah.
You know that they
there's what, 4 slots? 4 slots?
No, there's more. They've actually they have
relief pitchers.
Relief pitchers. Yeah, they have 3 relief pitchers and 4 starters. So West Virginia has 2 of the 4 starters and 1 of the 3 relief pitchers.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And Korn started last week. So so there's your representatives in the first team all league. Second team all conference honors for Paul Schoenfeld. And you've had some other guys. My list got cut off here.
Honorable mentions.
You got some other, let's see, Bassinger, Carson Estridge, Armani Guzman, Einish, and Sean Smith all received honorable mention. So that's quite a year.
It's a pretty good haul for the team, as they should, right? You finish second in the league and you're top 20 all season. They should have taken home a lot of hardware.
What's amazing about these pitchers is that you're doing this in a league. West Virginia has 3 of the top 5 in the league in ERA, And you're doing this in a league where there's sluggers everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the offensive numbers put up by these guys in the league are ridiculous. Landon Hairston was player of the year in the league. He's hitting .421, 27 home runs, which is 5th in the country, 77 RBI, which is 4th in the country. And Quentin Coates, 28 home runs, number 3 in the country, 78 RBI, number 3 in the country from Cincinnati. Those are two guys that West Virginia faced. And then you've got also in this league, they didn't play Oklahoma State, but Colin Ritchie, 29 home runs, which is 2nd in the country, and 73 RBI. So some of the ridiculous offensive numbers put up by some of these players in the league, and West Virginia by far the best pitching staff in the conference.
That's what gets me. And guys, it's just a few guys that are having elite seasons there. If you start to look down the innings pitched by this team, that there's 4 guys that have thrown 50 or more innings. Our guy from last night, Reese Bassinger, is right on the cusp at 47. There's Estridge at 29 innings, Hagan at 24. That's it. There's hardly anybody else in double-figure innings. So they're doing this with a rotation of about 6 guys that have gone all season through college baseball. And it's one of those, you talk about the great teams with depth of pitching. This team is just doing it with elite performances. Every guy that takes the mound has been elite this season for this team.
And, you look at Kelly and you go, wow, Gavin Kelly, could he have been player of the year? You look at Harrison's numbers.
Oh, my gosh.
Those are unworldly. And he had 27 home runs. Felt like half of those came in that 3 games against West Virginia.
Yeah, they just eventually stopped pitching to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yep.
You've done enough. But you're right. Gavin Kelly, 387 batting average, 3rd in the conference, 75 hits, 16 doubles, got to double-figure home runs with his late power surge, 12 home runs, 47 RBI, splitting time between catcher and second base. But Hairston's numbers, 421 average, 77 runs, 90 hits, 20 doubles, 27 home runs, and 77 RBI.
Well, we've said all season the strength of this West Virginia team is really top to bottom, right? I mean, there's some individual stars. You mentioned Gavin, and Paul Schoenfeld's had a great year, and some other guys, but really top to bottom, they're just a hard out. Everybody in that lineup is a hard out, and that has been a collective team effort there on the offensive side.
And you mentioned, West Virginia got through that sweep of Kansas using 5 pitchers, and it was pretty much the same against TCU. 2 pitchers combined for the day, 1 shutout, and on the 3rd game, Cole and Bassinger in there. Yale had some help in the game that TCU won on Friday. The point is that's one of the most positive change in college baseball to aid teams like West Virginia. You don't need a bunch of guys. You can get through, win your weekend series. You used to have to win a 6-team regional, which you needed several, you needed 10 pitchers to get through. Now you only have to win a 4-team regional, and you have to win a best-of-3 super regional, and you can get to Omaha. So teams, and
a double elimination conference tournament that you used to have to go through. I just think it's remarkable the hit rate on these guys. Greg, we talk about that all the time when you're trying to project new guys in a lineup and how they're going to do. There's so many what ifs or so many ifs. And it just depends on how many ifs come to fruition, whether you're good or not. West Virginia, and we've said this a bunch, its hit rate over the last couple of years in particular is absolutely phenomenal, and it was that way again. Almost everybody they brought in has contributed at an extremely high level.
Yeah, the number used to be 50% hit rate. I mean, was considered anything in that range was considered good. And I'm not saying West Virginia's quite 100 because there are a couple guys we don't talk a whole lot about that transferred in that haven't been factors. But the guys that they really thought were going to be impact players, most of those coming up from the Division II level, have lived up to their billing.
All conference guys. If you just plugged them in and they were starters, you would be excited. They're turning guys into all conference and all Americans coming up. So just a tremendous job of identifying and developing both of those areas.
Big 12 tournament starts tonight, those 2 first-round games, and then West Virginia will play most likely TCU. The Mountaineers, Reese Bassinger told us last night they're not even traveling until Wednesday morning. So to get out there the day before the game, practice, and play on Thursday. So that's the plan for West Virginia at the Big 12 Conference Tournament. Only 3 games to win that tournament if you can do it. Okay, we will hear from Wren Baker coming up in just a minute, in just a bit, a little bit later on in the show. And Sara Scoone, the head softball coach at Glenville State, coming up next on the CityNet statewide sports line. We're in the Health Plan studio since 1979. The Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years, the Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
If asthma or COPD is slowing you down, take control of your lungs. The WVU Medicine Obstructive Lung Disease Program takes a proactive approach with advanced testing, personalized treatment plans, and board-certified specialists focused on keeping you out of the hospital and helping you live life fully. From innovative diagnostics to cutting-edge therapies, we help you breathe better every day. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit WVUmedicine.org.
Answering a text or phone call while driving seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing. They didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on MetroNews Television.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
CityNet statewide sports line for Tuesday. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe with you. And we're joined again by the head softball coach at Glenville State, Sara Scoone. And Coach, good evening to you. How are you?
Good evening. How are you? I'm good.
Are you in transit again? Last week when you were on, I believe you were on the bus.
Yeah, that's actually so funny. We're outside of Hagerstown right now eating dinner.
Okay, well, at least you're parked. We don't have to worry about losing the cell. But first of all, congratulations. This is a tremendous story. You get a regional bid for the first time and win the thing. So now you're on to the super regional. Take us back to the regionals, and it comes down to, imagine that, it comes down to you and the University of Charleston.
Yeah, we just couldn't get enough of them this year. No, Charleston's a great team. I wish more than anything that could have been super regionals, just from my Mountain East heart, just to be sure that a Mountain East team would be going to the World Series. But yeah, regionals was great. It was such a wonderful experience for all of our players. I think we really just did a wonderful thing. I know that sounds like such a basic word, but to go there for the first time ever and to win it all, I mean, it's so special, and I don't even know if my players really realize what they've done, and I'm so proud of them.
So, Sara, not only do you have to beat UC, but at least at the end, you have to beat them twice.
Right.
So how stressful is that, knowing you're facing elimination, but thus have to get 2 games against the Eagles?
Yeah, I think every game in elimination brings an element of stress, but when you have a pitching staff like what we have, and when you have hitters who are just right now at a good time being hot, it kind of takes some of that stress off to where you can just let them play. I'm not pressing much as a coach. There hasn't been many calls behind the scenes. I'm just letting the girls play it out, and it's worked in our favor. But as far as, I think I might lie to them and tell them that Super Regionals is a single elimination, and, maybe we'll just go and win 2 straight. But, no, they've done so well with their back against the wall, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful story.
All right, try and put this into words for us, because these moments come along so rarely in sports, and it's what we all chase when we're involved in sports, around sports, watching sports. We just wait for these moments, and not only you're advancing with your team and the camaraderie that comes along with it, and what a special group this will be for all of your lives, but when you do something for the first time like this, it really heightens it and adds to it. So can you put that in perspective, just these last few weeks, what that's been like with this group, to travel with them and be winning and still be alive at this point?
I am so just flabbergasted by this group, because I don't think any of the pressure is getting to them. I don't think it exists. They're just very blissful right now. And I can look back at my time of being an athlete in regionals and being an athlete in supers and chasing that World Series appearance. And I don't think they're necessarily chasing that. They're just chasing the opportunity to stay together as a team. I haven't been on a team. I'm not an athlete. I am their coach. But as much as this team is a team, it's so wonderful just being able to witness the friendship along with the athletic performance that's going on the field and in the dugout. And I think really when it comes down to it, I'm going to remember just how much joy was brought from this year, let alone the wins that came with it.
Yeah, it's still not over. Obviously, scout Kutztown for us. What do you know about them?
Oh, Kutztown's historically a great team. I never actually personally played them. I have a wonderful mentor in Coach Warner. He has a lot of respect for Kutztown. I know they're a wonderful hitting team. They're very athletic. But right now, at this point in the year, so is every team that we're going to play. So really, it just comes down to who's going to be hot at the right time. But as far as what we bring to the table, I'm very confident in our pitching staff to go up against them. And just hopefully we play defense, and I'd rather be a little lucky than good, and I just hope our luck hasn't ran out.
Sara, I'm interested in the scout. We all cover West Virginia baseball, so we know they're heavy into analytics. They get video on all the opponents. You don't have those same type of resources, I doubt. How deep can you get into your scout other than just print out a stat sheet?
Honestly, yeah, we look at the stat sheet. We look at some video here and there, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to what we're confident with what we bring. I wish sometimes we had a bunch of charts and analytics, but at the same time, maybe that would take away from just playing the ball game, So I think everything's just written out as it should be as of right now. I'm really not looking into what could be, but as far as what we have available to us, it's gotten us this far, and hopefully it just gets us a little further.
We mentioned last week, so let's talk about it again. Some of these individual stars. You've talked about how good your pitching is and how deep you go there in the circle, but also I can't get over Delaney Warnick's numbers, your shortstop. I mean, she is blistering hot here. So just to recap, she's up near 400 for her average. We talked about her hitting 6 home runs in the MEC tournament alone. All she did in the regional was go 6 for 8 with another home run, 10 walks in the games. I mean, what is going on with her? She is absolutely on fire.
Yes, she is. What a time for a player to be hot. I'm not taking anything away from her. I'm not coaching her right now. I'm just letting that athlete be. But as far as the game plan that other teams have brought against her, walking her with bases loaded, like the respect that they're showing this athlete is wonderful, but it's also giving our 4, 5, and 6 hole hitter a chance to get our RBIs for them and show up for their team, and they've done that. And that's really what I think the storyline's showing here is that we're a team. Yes, she's so wonderful in so many aspects, and, thank God she plays for us. But as far as everyone else behind her, it's just been so great to see that unfold. Emily Nolan, she's our 4-hole hitter, and when she got walked, Delaney got walked for the 3rd time, Emily was on up to bat, and there were bases loaded, and I called time, and I told her, I was like, I'm just so proud of you, and I love you so much, and I'm so grateful that you're getting this chance. And she looks at me, she goes, I love you too, and she hit into a double play, and she goes, do you still love me? I'm like, that's what this game's all about, but it's been a wonderful story, and Delaney Warnick is just one heck of a ball player.
Yeah, she just earned Division II first team all-region, so that was announced. That's a great honor for her and great honor for your team.
That should be automatic. If somebody walks you with the bases loaded, you automatically get all-region team right there.
No
That's
doubt.
automatic.
Right, yeah.
Coach, you've got...
that one... I'm sorry, that all-region was actually voted on by the conference SIDs.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool, too, because, those are the guys who are on the stat books all the time.
Yeah. You've got some pitching options, so what's the strategy for Game 1 Thursday?
Oh, we'll have to see. I don't know if there's any Kutztown fans listening to this right now. But, we'll have to see. As far as what we're going in with, we have 4 wonderful pitchers, Kylie Burdick, Macy Bogus, Megan Stump, Andy Joe Howard. They all saw time in regionals. They all performed well for their team. So, really, we could go any direction here, and we'll just have to see how it unfolds.
That was a very veteran. She just batted your question right away there, Sarah. Very well done.
Sari, obviously facing the elimination you did in the regionals, I'm sure your team handles pressure, but have you guys talked about what's at stake at super regionals and you're one step away? Do you even worry about that, or you just take it day by day?
No, I actually, we talked in a different light. I said, just from my personal experience of being here as a player, the times where we have pressed for our coach or for anyone to, make it to the World Series, and we made it all about that, I think that puts pressure on a team that doesn't need to exist. You're one of 16 teams. If you make it further, that's wonderful, and you get to play again together. And if you don't, it's still wonderful. So right now, I think what we're doing is just going out and being ourselves. I think we have a little bit of the Cinderella story effect kind of on our side, so that takes a little pressure off in itself. But as far as what we have and what we're bringing to the table with the game plan, it's just to go out and still enjoy it and have fun. I think it's actually so funny to hear, all this pressure on the outside of making this far as you can. And people keep saying, we haven't seen your team smile this much ever. And I'm like, it's just a wonderful experience.
It obviously speaks to the culture you've built there with this group and know exactly what you're talking about when you say it's a group that just wants to have one more bus ride and one more meal together and one more practice, and you just keep going. But in the recruiting process, where do you put that? Because a lot of that has to come from your players internally. They have to have that attitude within themselves. Then you can foster that culture. Where does that rank in terms of when you're out recruiting, the match and the chemistry that you try and create from the recruiting side before you even get them on campus?
I love this question. Every single kid that I have in my office, I tell them the goal is the World Series. I'm chasing that. I've been there as a player. I want to go as a coach. It's there. It exists. And it's set up front in, the very first time that we meet as with coach and family. However, you look around the field and I have a catcher at first base, a third baseman with a broken back, a shortstop who was a all-conference for 2 years straight outfielder. My second baseman was a D1 third baseman who came in as a shortstop, and now she's at second. So if we have buy-in and if we have athleticism, that's really what I go for as far as the recruiting process goes. I mean, obviously skill, speed, strength, all of that. But as far as who that person is as an individual, that takes them miles further than what their athleticism ever could. So, and I think that's showing up in postseason now. I mean, this group is just resilient as can be, and I think that really is a testament to their character.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Sounds like West Virginia's baseball team that we follow very close. Just get athletes and players and buy-in. I mean, it sounds simple, but it works.
It does. It truly does work. And I think maybe the most athleticism or best softball team stat-wise doesn't make it as far as the team who plays together as one. I've always thought that, and if that can be us, I'll be one happy coach.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Coach, again, best of luck, and let's just pencil it in. When you get on the bus to go to the World Series, let us know, and we'll put you on the radio.
Have me back in one more time. I'll just call by first name next time.
Perfect. Exactly. Coach,
thank you so much.
Good luck. We'll be following.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know my athletes and families do also.
Very good. Coach Sara Scoone, they're headed for the Super Regional.
They're having fun, right? I mean, it's fun when you win, but you can tell she's got a great group, loves that group, and what a great ride for them. What a magical ride they're on here, and hopefully they can continue for a couple more wins and get on to the World Series.
Coming up, we'll hear from WVU Athletic Director Wren Baker, his comments to the media today. We are in the Health Plan Studios. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. And we'll be right back.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Ready to make this boating season unforgettable? Head to Lou Wendell Marine Sales, family owned and operated for over 40 years and West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Lou and his sons are boating experts from sales to service to repairs. And right now, their lot is packed with incredible inventory and some of the best deals of the season. Because they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com today. Boating season is almost here.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
The challenges facing today's workforce are real. Rapid change, new technology, and a growing skills gap. But there's a solution. WVU Parkersburg is partnering with local businesses to deliver customized training programs built around your needs. From advanced manufacturing and healthcare to emerging technologies and certifications, we help your team gain the skills to stay competitive. Businesses across our region are already making it happen. Visit WVUP.edu and start building a future-ready workforce today.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
After today, it won't be cold, but cooler than it has been and rather active with daily rain chances through Memorial Day. 7-day accumulation would be at least 1.5 inches for the lightest shade of purple and up to, say, 3 inches in the bright reds near Morgantown. Adding some context, though, Charleston is behind monthly average by 2 inches, year-to-date by 5.5 inches. And just to keep up with average, we need over 1 inch. So if we get 1 3/4 inches, imagine these numbers improving by only 0.6 or so of an inch. Now, for thunderstorms, a marginal severe risk for the northern panhandle this afternoon and evening, a widespread marginal risk Wednesday afternoon and evening. So we will see a few storms out there, especially looking north in the overnight hours, then generally a lull before additional rain builds in from the west as we head through the day. Late afternoon and evening is when we start to see some stronger storms and some widespread rain that will fill out West Virginia and linger for a wet Thursday. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. That same cold front will have temperatures falling for D.C., for New York, but Chicago already cool behind the front with stormy pockets depending on where you're traveling. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast, New Cumberland 65 tonight, Moundsville 68, 71 to 76 here tomorrow with storms. Going east where we stay closer to 70 overnight, and because the cold front reaches here last, a lot of these communities do manage 90s one more time on Wednesday. We'll see Elkins at 65 tonight, Ripley 67, highs and low 80s here to mid 70s for our Wednesday. We'll see Charleston 67 tonight, Lewisburg 59, 85 there, 83 in Charleston on Wednesday. Then we'll see low 70s and upper 60s by Thursday. Gradually warmer through the holiday weekend with more storm action.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline, Health Plan Studios, Wren Baker, WVU Director of Athletics from earlier today, had an event. Must have been an event. Sounds like everybody was there.
Big event.
Big one.
Big day.
61 minutes and 28 seconds
Well,
worth of questions and answers.
We've
with
only
Wren.
got about 15.
Okay.
So thanks to Joe Bricado for editing some video clips for us. So let's get into it. Wren Baker on the environment of uncertainty right now in the NCAA.
I believe at some point there will be a system put in place that's more sustainable. It's just how much collateral damage has to happen before we get there. But inside the walls of our department, we really try to take an approach of being positive and understanding that we don't get to determine how the world is when it comes to athletics. We just have to operate and be our best. And it's not always, comparison is the thief of joy. It's not always school A has this, so we have to have this. It is what are our goals, what are our priorities, and how can we be the best version of ourselves. But, yeah, Greg, it's frustrating. Especially a year ago, you thought you were on the path of having a system. And, you really have two issues, and we wrestle with both of them all the time. How do you get the money? And then you got to get the money in the hands of the student athletes in a way that's going to pass through CSC and those things. And so we spend a lot of time trying to do it right here. Huge credit to our staff that spends a lot of time doing that. And the hope is that at some point we can all come together and agree on a system that is fair for everybody.
All right, so assume you asked that question, but rev share was an issue that seemed to be settled, and now teams are spending over the cap.
I hope I'm not jumping into a cut, but he made an analogy I thought that was really good. He spent 1 year as a middle school principal, right? And he goes, everybody wants discipline, of the student body, unless it's their kid,
yeah.
And then you're upset about it. And that's the same way that we're seeing in the NCAA. Everybody wants rules, except you want to be able to break the rules on your own terms.
And it's been like that for a number of years. I mean, since we saw those coaches get caught on the wiretap and some guys went to jail. I mean, that's when it started really in earnest, when schools were doubling down on their folks and saying to the NCAA, no, you come get us. You come get us. It really started to change at that point. Now you're in a whole different world with the money. And I give him and Wren and this staff a lot of credit because much like we talk about this a lot. Much like players and coaches after a tough loss, they don't sit and dwell. We can sit and dwell on it, right? And we'll hash it and rehash it and second guess and do everything that we do as fans and media members. When you're the team and the players, what do you have to do? You have to get right back to work because you got another game coming, so you better figure it out next. That's how this department has approached this stuff. If you just sit back for a minute and look how wild the last, just take 16, 18 months has been. When you went from, we're moving ahead with facilities projects, we're trying to get our budget, we're trying to raise money, oh, boom, all of a sudden you better find $20 million to set aside to pay players. And then, oh, by the way, less than 12 months later, that's not even remotely close enough. You've got to go above the cap and find X number of millions of dollars more, and they've done it. So I say it's a credit to the staff for continuing to find ways, and then it's a great credit to the people of this state and these Mountaineer fans around the country that have stepped up and opened up their wallets and allowed West Virginia to be in a position where it's competitive financially. That's not easy to do and shouldn't be taken for granted. How hard that has been as a collective effort from fan base to department to get that money raised and get it to players and able to stay in a competitive environment that has absolutely no rules and is changing in real time right now.
Changes by the minute. All right, it's all about revenue streams and finding money. One way to do that is neutral site football games. There's one scheduled this year, September 19th, West Virginia against Virginia in Charlotte. So what's the philosophy on that going forward?
There's a baseline number of games we expect to play in Morgantown, and are we hitting that? So I would say it's pretty non-negotiable that we've always won at least 6 games here in Morgantown for football, for instance. We'd really like to have 7. But if you're given an opportunity to play the right opponent and the financials make sense, and it's in a place where you're trying to engage donors and alums. So, we've made an emphasis, the Charlotte area, for instance. That's always a place where we do really well. And so that's a place where, we really have tried to plant a flag in terms of being there. I think you want to do what's right by the state and community, but certain neutral site games give you an opportunity to draw revenue, to hit a broader audience, to play an opponent that maybe doesn't have the opportunities in their schedule to do 2 games, and so you're doing 1. And then, I think the other aspect that plays into that now is the NIL opportunities. Some of those games present an NIL opportunity for the athletes on your roster, and as you're trying to grow that above cap revenue, that's part of the conversation as well.
So again, this year you talked about Charlotte. Mountaineers are headed for Charlotte to play Virginia.
Got another one a few years from now in Charlotte again against Tennessee. And he went on to say it's not just football that does that. Basketball, obviously, we know they're going to Vegas again for one of those tournaments this year. The player era has NIL opportunities. Going to play North Carolina in Charlotte in basketball as well. So
Wake Forest.
Yeah. Wake Forest
at a neutral site.
Exactly. So you've got those opportunities. And again, this is the year West Virginia already has 7 home games. So this is the perfect year in football to do it, because you're not really taking away what would have been an additional home game.
Yeah, and he said that well, right? There's a lot of moving parts there you're trying to fit in the puzzle piece. So if you can do it without hurting your home schedule necessarily, but still be able to make some money and some revenue off it, it's a way to do it. I think this year's Virginia game in Charlotte, that's a perfect example of that.
Expansion of championship events. His thoughts on the now 76-team NCAA basketball tournament.
I want to see how the expansion actually works and affects the tournament and evaluate it. I would hope that we're all willing to evaluate it after a year or two and see the impact. But, what you had is, as things have changed and rosters are more transient and power conference teams have more resources, there's more talent being aggregated in those power conferences. As somebody who's worked at virtually every level of college athletics, I would not be in favor of pulling AQs away from the mid-major leagues. I think that's part of what makes the tournament special, because everybody that goes to the conference tournament goes with the hope that they can catch lightning in a bottle, be Cinderella, and play in the big dance.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I hope that never happens. I don't think that's been on the table. This expansion is to get more Power 4 type teams in.
I'll say this. He goes further, and the full interview is out there. He goes further on that answer. And, Greg, I'll be honest. If I was a mid-major AD, I wouldn't even try and speak on the subject. I'd pull Wren's clip and play it. I thought he gave as good an answer in defense of mid-majors as any answer I've ever heard on this expansion. It was really well stated about what that tournament means and what it has meant and what has it meant for all Division I players to, at the start of the season, have an opportunity to know that you could be in the national championship. And it's really the only sport that has that available to it, where you can get that. And I thought he gave a great answer to that for being a guy that's sitting in a seat that shouldn't care what happens to mid-majors, right? I know he's been there in the past and he addressed that right there, but that's not his concern right now. But I thought he gave a super explanation of that. You're right. I think the tournament expanding, we know, is going to help some of the power conference teams in that, and that may help West Virginia. So I've said before, I'm for more games. This expansion's not a huge deal. I'm surprised how big of a deal some media members and how big Twitter makes it. But I think, all right, it moved to a few more teams. If it can protect some of those AQs and keep the intent of the tournament, but it allows some more teams that play a difficult schedule, that challenge themselves like West Virginia is going to do this upcoming season, I think that's good for the game, and I'll take that, and I'm on board with that.
And we'll get his thoughts on the expanded college football playoff here in a moment. But first, the opportunity for new revenue streams, which, of course, that's what it's all about. How much money can you bring in?
Whether that's sponsor patches, whether that's naming of facilities, certainly continuing to try to raise money the traditional way. All of those opportunities to grow revenue, we stay focused on. But, I think I've been honest that I believe, given our presence in the state, that when we do a deal like that, it needs to be the right partner that has the right values, that we collectively can agree on how we want our brands branded and commingled. And so we're exploring all of that in an effort to grow revenue.
All right, so naming rights to the stadium, it's coming, but nothing yet official.
Yeah, someday. I mean, and I guess it was about a year ago, maybe a little less. They add the naming rights to the Coliseum, making it the Hope Coliseum. And someday we'll see football follow suit. But, again, got to be the right partner, right dollar figure, all those type of things, Brad.
All right. Now his thoughts on the possibly expanding college football playoff.
Right now, that's a relatively small field, and so I do think it needs to be enlarged just for representation generally. I think there are teams being left out who could win games and perhaps advance to the championship. What the right number is, I don't know that I'm sure. I think I'd want to see how are we going to divvy up the additional revenue, and how does that selection process work. But I would say generally I'm in favor of expansion. And if the number is 16, if the number is 24, I don't know that I'm dug in on a certain number. I also think the opportunities to host those games on campuses. I was, as I mentioned earlier, the environment for the women's basketball regional was electric. I mean, absolutely electric. Just a buzz from well before the game ever started. I was thinking, man, can you imagine what it would be like hosting a college football playoff game here in Morgantown?
Yeah, that's a nice
bonkers.
thought. Yeah.
It would be absolutely bonkers.
So in order for that to happen, it likely would have to go to 24. The Big 12 got one in, Texas Tech, in a 24-team playoff last season. Of course, the Mountaineers wouldn't have been a factor in that particular year, but there could have been as many as 4 get in.
Yeah, and I'm for more opportunities there. I kind of echo Wren's thoughts there. If you can give me more games in the championship tournament part of things, I'm in for that.
All right, one more. We'll squeeze one more in here from Wren Baker. Anticipation and expectations for coaches Rich Rodriguez and Ross Hodge, year 2.
The last 2 to 3 years where we haven't achieved what we would like to in football and basketball is more of an issue with just transition. And every time you transition head coaches in football or men's basketball, you are going to completely flip that roster, and we've seen that. Then you bring people in, they miss the high school recruiting cycle entirely. They're having to get everybody from the portal. The price in the portal, especially the later you go, the lesser the return is, I would say. And so you put yourself in a little bit of an issue. Coach Rodriguez, much to his credit, kind of banked a little bit of his money last year to put with this year's money. And so that helped him, in terms of his recruiting class, because I think he got to a point where he could see we're spending money on value that's not proven. And if that's the case, I'd rather wait till we've had a full year to evaluate and be ready.
All right, so expectations higher because of a full recruiting cycle, high school and portal, and, of course, with basketball, the magnificent job they've done in building a roster this year, especially with the expanded tournament. The hopes are to get there.
Yeah, and I think it's two different things. I think in the basketball side of things, you certainly pointed that thing in the right direction. The most wins you've had since the 2020 season. So there's no way you can look at last season and not consider that is pointed in the right direction. On the football side of things, I think we all agree it was just not enough time to remake that entire roster. And so what we've seen come in this year, you certainly feel better about where it is. And I'm interested to see where this league goes. We've said that many times with now West Virginia being one of the schools that does not have a new coach. Can it take advantage of that early with some of those other schools now that are going through that same transition that we've been through here?
Got to get our last break in. We'll be back on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind.
And onions.
Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Final few minutes here. We neglected the text line. I apologize for that. We'll get back to that tomorrow. But Texture points out, we talked about the Mountaineer pitching staff. Texture says, didn't West Virginia lose an all-conference type pitcher in the middle of the year? Yes, Chase Meyer was on the squad and is not on the squad anymore. So that just, again, gives you an idea how good the other guys have been that have kind of picked up the slack there.
Yeah, because, again, 3 first-team all-conference pitchers, just absolutely remarkable for the season those guys have had.
Yeah,
and
Chase,
another with an illness that caused J.J. Glasgow also out.
But the Texture's right. Chase Meyer was a preseason All-Big 12 conference selection. Texture says real quick here, I favor campus sites over bending over backwards to involve minor bowls. I think you could do campus sites for the first round with 16 teams. 16 teams is enough, 24 too much. That's the opinion of this Texture. All right, we'll get into it more tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, and we're back tomorrow night for a Wednesday edition of the Sportsline, and we'll see you.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network.
All rights reserved.